And then the commentators, I swear, at one point had to hold back calling him a retard when they said he retired the car.
Hello out there in internet land. This is episode 23 of the F1 Chat. I'm your host, Phil Lamington. Seated to my left is a man who's very happy because he's got one hand on the constructor's title. And that's JB. JB, how are you?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. You know, depends on if the stewards want to give us penalties or Lando wants to choke. So we'll see. So far, so good. One more race to go.
And seated to my right, because this is a little bit awkward, we've got both of them in the studio at the same time here at the Oubliette stage at Pipebomb Studios. I don't know if he's happy or sad or what, because Williams. But it's Longhorn. Longhorn, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, well, as you said, JB's got one hand on the constructors. Here at Williams, we've got two hands on a cup. We've definitely won something. The record for the most crashes in a Formula One season, and probably the most expensive fix-it bill there is. Tell GM we need $600 million in the dilution fund, not $450, because hasn't been a good one this year.
Yeah, it's a little bit touch and go, isn't it? Right, so this is going to be a special double episode again, because we didn't do one for Las Vegas. So we're going to do Las Vegas and Qatar in the one episode. So we're going to start with Las Vegas F1 from Las Vegas, Nevada, as part of Las Vegas in America, like Las Vegas in America. And so we're going to hand it over to JB because he has got the Las Vegas F1 report.
I do. The 2024 Heineken Silver Las Vegas Grand Prix. Lap 1, George Russell starts on pole position alongside Carlos Sainz. Russell holds off Sainz as Charles Leclerc sweeps up to second past Gasly and teammate Carlos Sainz. Lap 3, Max Verstappen passes Pierre Gasly for fourth. Lap 4, Liam Lawson and Kevin Magnussen nearly crash at the chicane, but they get away with it. Lap 5, Fernando Alonso is forced to pit very early, getting off the soft tyres after not gaining the advantage he would have liked. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc briefly passes Russell for the lead, but loses it back. Lap 7, Carlos Sainz passes Charles Leclerc for second. Lap 8, Max Verstappen passes Charles Leclerc for third. Lap 10, Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris pit for hard tyres. Lap 11, Carlos Sainz pits for hard tyres, along with Oscar Piastri. Lap 12, Max Verstappen pits for hard tyres. Lap 13, George Russell pits for hard tyres. Meanwhile, Esteban Ocon misses his pit box and is forced to drive around another lap to do his pit stop. Lap 14, Hamilton pits for hard tyres, handing the lead of the race back to teammate George Russell. Lap 15, Pierre Gasly's Alpine gives up the ghost, his engine erupting in smoke, and he pits to retire from the race. Lap 17, Lewis Hamilton passes Lando Norris for 6th, and then Sergio Perez for 5th. Lap 26, Oscar Piastri pits for a second time for a new set of hard tyres. Lap 27, Alex Albon retires from the race with a power unit problem. Lap 28, Max Verstappen pits along with Lewis Hamilton as Carlos Sainz sells Mercedes a dummy. Lap 29, Carlos Sainz pits after Ferrari tell him we weren't ready for you last lap. Lap 31, Lando Norris pits for hard tyres. Lap 32, Charles Leclerc pits for hard tyres. Lap 33, George Russell pits for hard tyres and heads back out into the lead of the race. Oscar Piastri passes Zhou Guanyu for 9th. Lap 38, Sergio Perez pulls off a double overtake on Liam Lawson and Kevin Magnussen. Lap 41, Carlos Sainz passes Max Verstappen for 3rd. Lap 47, Charles Leclerc passes Max Verstappen for 4th. Lap 49, Lando Norris pits for a crack at the fastest lap point. Lap 50, George Russell wins the Las Vegas Grand Prix ahead of Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari's Carlos Sainz. Max Verstappen finishes 5th, which is enough to seal the 2024 Formula One World Championship, his 4th in succession, matching Sebastian Vettel. Lando Norris gets fastest lap, Lewis Hamilton gets driver of the day.
In 4th place was Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. 5th place, as said before, was Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. 6th place was Lando Norris in the McLaren. 7th place was Oscar Piastri in the other McLaren. 8th place was Nico Hulkenberg in the Haas. 9th place was Sushi Tsunoda in the Racing Bull. And 10th place was Sergio Perez, getting a point.
Been a while since I've seen him do that.
Yeah, right. So, Max Verstappen becomes 4-time world champion.
Well deserved.
Yeah, drove well.
I think that he kind of clung on to that with the hard work he did at the start of the year is what got him the world title.
I still think he's been the best driver this year by a margin.
And Lando didn't help himself with a lot
Yeah.
of mental mistakes either.
Well,
Yeah.
I suppose asking the question, did Max Verstappen win it or did Lando Norris lose it?
Max Verstappen was far enough ahead
Yeah.
by the time Lando started putting a serious challenge to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Verstappen won.
It was
this.
Max's to lose.
Yeah.
He won it in Brazil. Was it Brazil? Max
Yeah.
Verstappen won Brazil, didn't he? Yeah,
Basically,
yeah,
once
yeah.
Lando bottled Brazil.
That's right. That for
That
me
was
was
it.
the world title right there in that race.
Yeah. So Max Verstappen is 4-time world champion. George Russell won the race.
Flawless drive.
Yeah, he just drove it. He didn't have to do anything special. I mean, he held off the challenge from Charles Leclerc at the start.
Yeah.
But after that, he just cruised. He
Yep.
just cruise control.
The Mercedes were hot this weekend for Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, Hamilton fired up the field to get. They finished 1-2. So
I think maybe the Mercedes worked the tyres a bit better than the Ferrari, or the Ferrari overcooked its tyres, particularly going after Russell in the first stint. But they walked away with the biscuits. Nothing wrong with that. It was surprising to see how far off the McLarens were, though. That was not really a McLaren track.
No, it really wasn't. They like a bit more of a flow to their tracks, and this was more straight line, so
Yeah.
is what it is.
Helmet drivers for this one. Lewis Hamilton. Not helmet drivers. Key drivers.
Key drivers. I'm
Key
about to
drivers.
say, I don't think Lewis did much wrong.
Key
I was thinking you got the wrong race mixed up.
Yeah.
The one we're talking about later.
Key drivers. Lewis Hamilton. I think he drove a solid race.
Yeah, brilliant race. Brilliant drive.
Same with Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc had a good shot at winning this, but he cooked his tyres in the first stint.
First stint, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't recover from that.
Same with Carlos Sainz.
Yeah, I think both Ferraris had the same problem.
Yeah.
Just didn't have the tyre life.
Nico Hulkenberg.
Yeah.
He did pretty well getting in the points again.
Yep, he's had a solid year for himself.
Yeah, he certainly made himself look like he's worth something.
Yeah.
Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah.
Another good
He's
drive.
had a couple of good performances this year.
And you know what? This is going to surprise everyone. Sergio Perez. I put Sergio Perez in the key drivers.
Doing
It's
what he should.
For
The
doing the
bare
bare minimum.
The bare minimum.
I'll tell you why I put him in the list. That double overtake.
That was nice.
That was
I'll
a
give him that.
nice
It
move.
was brazen. That could have gone very wrong.
Yeah. You know,
Oh, well, I know. Okay.
that was the Perez
We
of
laughed at
old.
the time. We laughed at the time. We said it was for 12.
Yeah.
But he did actually get a point at the end of this race.
Yeah.
So maybe it was for more than we gave him credit for.
Yeah, but I mean, he that overtake was the Perez of old, the
Yeah.
Perez that we want to see.
That was an all or nothing move, and it was all for the end.
So the helmet drivers, I've only got one for the helmet driver, and that is the Ferrari pit crew not being ready.
Yeah.
We were not ready for you.
After they called him to go back out, they kind of called him in and then last second told him to go back out and then weren't ready when he come in again. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that was a bit silly.
Were you not ready when you called him in the first time and then called him back out? Like, were you not even
I
sitting
think
there
they said do the same as what Hamilton does. So Hamilton pulled in, then they went, "Oh no, we're not ready." Well, fuck.
The fact he didn't get penalised for driving over the white line was unreal.
That was pretty
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
Even I was just like, that's not right. That doesn't compute.
Yeah, no.
As soon as he done it, I'm all, well, there's 5 seconds. That's killed his race. And yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to quickly move on to the driver's standings. Max Verstappen is now the world champion with 403 points. Lando Norris is in second place with 340 points. Charles Leclerc is in third place with 319 points. Oscar Piastri is in fourth with 268 points. Carlos Sainz is in fifth with 259 points. George Russell is in sixth with 217 points. Seventh place is Lewis Hamilton with 208 points. Sergio Perez is in 8th with 152 points. Fernando Alonso is in 9th with 62 points. And Nico Hülkenberg is 10th with 35 points. And in the Constructors, McLaren is ahead with 608 points, ahead of Ferrari with 584 points. Red Bull is in 3rd with 555 points. Fourth place is Mercedes with 425 points. Fifth place is Aston Martin with 86 points. Sixth place is Haas with 50 points, getting ahead of the Alpine again. Seventh place is Alpine with 49 points. Eighth is RB with 46 points. Ninth is Williams with 17 points. And 10th with 0 points is Kick Sauber.
Just before we move on from that race, 2 years of Vegas now. How do you find it, the track?
First one was a cracker, second one was a fizzer.
I don't think it was a fizzer. Yeah. I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It had a lot to live up to after last year's.
Yeah, that was the problem.
Last year's was like top 3 race of the year.
Yeah, it wasn't going to do that, but for me, it showed me that, look, I don't mind this race actually being on the calendar. It's won me over. If we're going to have 2 American races, I'd rather this one than Miami.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Miami would be the 1 you'd axe at this point.
Yeah. So it's at least done that for me. It's kind of solidified. Well, all right, if you're going to put on a spectacle race, it's done its job. It's created 2 decent races, or 1 great race, 1 fine race. You're not always going to have crackers. It's not been a disappointment. So yeah, I'm actually kind of fine with it being on the grid. Just get rid of Miami and I'll be happy.
Yeah, I think the only thing that ruined this year's race was the tyre compounds they picked.
Yeah.
You know, no one had run the hard, and the medium just wasn't going the distance. So
I think they need to have a big look in this off-season about tyres. It's been a strange year for tyres this year.
yeah,
You know, the wets and the inters aren't quite right. The compounds they seem to bring to certain tracks, they don't seem to get right. Yeah, do we have too many compounds going on for them to choose from and they're getting it wrong? Or like, what's the issue, you know?
Well, I was thinking when I watched this race, I was thinking about back in the 90s, the rules were you picked a tyre compound for the entire weekend and you used that tyre compound. So if you went for the soft compound and you had to nominate it like 2 weeks in advance, if you went for a soft compound, you only used the soft compound all weekend. If you went for hard, you only had hard all weekend. So it was even strategy, gamesmanship before you even got there.
Yeah. And I kind of like that style, just having the 2, soft or hard. That's it, you know?
Yeah.
I kind of prefer that than the way we have it at the moment, but...
Yeah, it kind of feels like they're just forcing everyone to use multiple tyre compounds for the sake of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to move on from Las Vegas to Qatar, which was 2 days ago.
Yes.
And there was a sprint race.
There was a sprint race. There was an F2 race as well.
Was there?
Was there? There definitely was.
I thought it wasn't until Abu Dhabi.
Negatory, I'm pretty sure there was a Formula 2 race in Qatar. Allow me to try and find the results.
I don't think there was. There was there was Formula Academy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Abu Dhabi's the last race for F2.
Formula 2 race results for Losail International Circuit. Yes, there was.
Yeah, right, there we go.
Oliver Behrman won the sprint and Paul Aaron won the feature race. There you go, guys.
There we go.
Well, that's all you're going to get from the F2 this week, because I didn't even know. I thought Abu Dhabi was the last one. That
was the F-off report. The Kevin Magnussen report.
In the words of Kevin Magnussen. Fuck
there
off.
You go. Paul Aaron was fastest in free practice and got pole at qualifying. And
right, where did Bortoletto and Hadjar finish up?
I have no idea. I've only got that. That's all you're going to, literally all you're going to get.
That's all we're going to hear.
Also, shout out to Formula 1 Academy World Champion, Abby Pulling.
I was getting to that.
Don't care.
Just throw the format of the show out the fucking window, why don't
We
you?
can congratulate her twice.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'll congratulate the shit out of it.
2024 Qatar Airlines Qatar Grand Prix
I got him with that.
F1 sprint race. That one, Lando Norris starts on pole position alongside George Russell. Norris holds off Russell as Piastri squeezes past the Mercedes to take second. Lewis Hamilton passes Charles Leclerc for fifth. Lap 4, George Russell sticks the nose of his car under Oscar Piastri for second, but Oscar closes him off to maintain the place. Lap 8, Max Verstappen passes Pierre Gasly for 8th. Lap 13, Charles Leclerc forces his way past Lewis Hamilton for 5th. Lap 15, Sergio Perez pits for a new front wing. Red Bull getting in some practice as Sergio falls to last place. Lap 19, Lewis Hamilton slows in the final metres of the sprint race to allow Oscar Piastri to win, repaying him for Interlagos. George Russell getting third.
In fourth place was Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. In fifth place was Charles Leclerc in the other Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton came sixth in the Mercedes. Nico Hülkenberg came seventh in the Haas, and Max Verstappen came eighth in the Red Bull.
Kudos to Lando for playing the team game.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of fucking, especially Australian fans, like, he's arrogant and selfish, but he just showed, now that he's out of the championship fight, he can be a team player too.
Yeah, and, look, I read a lot of comments online like, Lando Norris is being a fucking idiot and rah, 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 by doing this. It's like, well, you know, Oscar Piastri did the solid for him.
Yeah.
You know, he did the job for him, so return the favour.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, what I actually liked about it was Lando did this off his own accord.
Yeah, McLaren were actually telling him to hold position.
Yeah, they were happy.
And he didn't.
Yeah. So, good on him.
It showed to me a bit of, like, team between the two drivers. It showed that, you know, being in question a bit. Yeah, it showed a bit of camaraderie, that they respect each other. And, you know, as long as not one of them's in the fight and not the other, they are going to do the team thing, which is good to see.
Yeah.
All right, and then we're going to move on to the F1 report.
Yes. Rock and roll. The Grand Prix of the Qatar Airlines Qatar Grand Prix. The actual race. That one, George Russell starts on pole position after Max Verstappen impeded him in qualifying. Max starting second.
I have to say,
that was crap.
That was absolute crap. And you know what? I firmly back Max Verstappen calling George Russell a two-faced bitch.
I didn't realise George actually wasn't on a fast lap.
No, he wasn't.
He was on an out lap.
Yeah.
They were both on an out lap. Well, I think Max was on a cool down lap. And George was on an out lap. So George wasn't even on the clock when that happened.
Yeah.
And Max still got a penalty for it.
That's why he only got a one-place penalty, though.
Yeah, that's
but
insane.
George Russell jumping up and down over it. Like,
Max right to call him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on Max's side.
Yeah, same here.
Speaking of jumping, Max Verstappen jumps George Russell off the start. Lando Norris jumping both of them briefly to hold the lead before Max closes the door on him. Franco Colapinto, Esteban Ocon, and Nico Hülkenberg all make contact. Hülkenberg getting away with a puncture, the other two out of the race in turn 1. Lance Stroll understeers into Alex Albon as well as at the following corner as the safety car is deployed. Lap 5, Liam Lawson spins out in turn 1, battling Valtteri Bottas. Both drivers continue. Lap 8, Lance Stroll is handed a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision with Albon. Lap 9, Fernando Alonso is noted for rejoining the track unsafely, and Lewis Hamilton is noted for a false start. Lap 10, Lance Stroll retires from the race in his Aston Martin. Lap 11, Lynn Lawson is handed a 10-second time penalty for hitting Bottas during his earlier spin. Lap 14, Lewis Hamilton is handed a 5-second time penalty for jumping the start. Lap 24, George Russell pits for hard tyres, having a slow stop. Lap 30, Alex Albon's wing mirror flies off his car and into the middle of the front straight. Lap 34, Valtteri Bottas clips the wing mirror down the straight just as Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz suffer front left punctures. Oscar Piastri pits in the meantime. Lap 35, Carlos Sainz pits but has a slow stop as they can't get the jack under the car. The safety car is deployed as Hamilton, Verstappen and Norris pit. Lap 40, Lando Norris pokes his nose in front of Max Verstappen off the safety car restart, but Max gets it back. Sergio Perez loses drive off the restart and spins as his gearbox hydraulics fail. He retires from the race. Nico Hulkenberg spins on cold tyres in his Haas 2, and he buries the car in the gravel trap and is out of the race as the safety car is deployed again. Lap 44, Lando Norris is handed a 10-second stop-and-go penalty for failing to lift under yellow flags on the front straight. Lap 45, Lewis Hamilton is noted for speeding in the pit lane as Lando Norris serves his penalty. Lap 46, Lewis Hamilton is handed a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He asks if he can park the car and retire on the way through, but Mercedes tell him to finish the race. Lap 53, Lando Norris passes Alex Albon for 11th. Lap 54, Lando Norris passes Valtteri Bottas for 10th. Alex Albon is handed a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision. And lap 57, Max Verstappen wins the Qatar Grand Prix from Ferrari's Charles Leclerc and McLaren's Oscar Piastri. Lando Norris gets fastest lap. Zhou Guanyu gets driver of the day.
In fourth place is George Russell in the Mercedes. Fifth place is Pierre Gasly in the Alpine. Sixth place is Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. Seventh place was Fernando. I like to whinge a lot about my car, Alonso, in the Aston Martin. Eighth place was Zhou Guanyu in the Kick Sauber.
Yes, love to see it.
That's brilliant.
Ninth place was Kevin Magnussen in the Haas. Who did he overtake again? That was
Alex Albon had told you to fuck off.
Yeah. Brilliant move. And in 10th place was Lando Norris in the McLaren. So, Max Verstappen drove a solid race, did his thing.
Did his thing, world champion things,
Yep.
like winning.
Yep, he did all right. Got his biscuits.
9th win of the season. Not
Yep.
bad.
Key drivers. So the first key driver for me was Charles Leclerc.
Yeah,
Drove a solid race,
did.
did his thing. Same with Oscar Piastri.
Kept out of trouble.
Yep, kept it out of trouble. And then we get the first of the pretty good fighters was Pierre Gasly.
Yeah, 5th place.
He's
Despite
stepped
almost
up.
pinballing everybody off the safety car restart.
Yeah.
But he managed to miss everyone and finish 5th, so good on him.
Then the next key driver for me is the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. What you see is what you get, and what you don't is better yet. Zhou Guanyu.
Yeah.
What
well
a
done.
drive.
4 points.
Well done. And Valtteri Bottas was unlucky, but,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, what a drive by Zhou Guanyu there. We thought they were going to go through the entire season with 0 points, and he's managed to pull this off at in the final hour and get them off the 0 points, which has got to be pretty good feeling for them, considering how their year's gone. So, yeah, happy to see it. Great drive.
And my final driver is Kevin Fuck Off Magnussen.
yeah, he had himself a night.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a night, he had some moments. Good race all around.
Yeah.
So we get to the helmet drivers. There's the PK kick. My first is Sergio Perez. It was almost like his car letting go was a mercy killing.
Yeah, he wasn't really doing much with it.
He was nowhere near it anyway, so.
My next helmet driver was Liam Lawson. Caused a couple of prings.
Yeah, had a couple of bump and goes. Lance Stroll did too.
Interesting talk with Liam. Do you think he's ready for the RB seat?
The Red Bull seat?
Yeah.
No.
I don't
Not
think so
not
either.
after how he drove.
I don't think so either, but the rumour is he's the one going in. I don't see it myself, personally, but...
Yeah, but there's also a rumour that they're after Franco Colapinto.
Did you hear the other rumour?
There's Valtteri Bottas.
That there was the F1 store glitch that Valtteri Bottas was named under a Red Bull in the F1 store website.
Really?
Yeah. They're playing an opposite glitch, but that was really interesting.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, it's like Red Bull drivers and Valtteri Bottas' name is under Red Bull. And it's like,
Oh.
whoa, there's no way.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, right?
I'm here for it, but... A year at Red Bull?
You never know.
My next one was Esteban Ocon.
Yeah, well, he's done.
Put a fork in him.
Yeah, we'll get back to that soon. But, he had an absolute shocker.
Yeah.
Next one was Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
He had a shocker, and he made sure everyone knew about it.
Everyone knew about it.
Kind of like that guy.
I don't know how the hell you finished second a week ago and then you can just
botch it the entire race.
panty at your team that everything sucks.
Yeah. Retire the car.
Like you were P2 last week, mate. Like it's been 7 days.
I just hate the respect he gives them. Like, they've given you 6 world championships, the best car for the better part of half a decade. Over half a decade.
Yeah,
and
6.
And now you've coming to the end. You're moving on. Just go out with a bit of class, a bit of thank you guys. Even if the car's not up to how you want it, don't freaking whinge you retire the car.
There's rumours that he wasn't going to race in Abu Dhabi. I'm like, you gutless prick.
Come on, mate. Like, show a bit of respect to Mercedes.
Exactly.
The one thing is, though, Mercedes are refusing to let him test in Abu Dhabi with Ferrari.
Good. He wants to act like this. He's still contracted at Mercedes. Too bad.
Yeah, you're not a Ferrari driver until January 1st, bud.
Exactly.
Because Carlos Sainz has been told as soon as the Abu Dhabi race is over, you can go test with Williams.
Yeah. Good.
You know.
Good.
Because, Williams need all the help they can get.
Bloody oath we do.
The next one was Lance Stroll.
Just doing stroll things, eh?
Stroll being Stroll.
Just having a stroll through the park.
I mean, he's the man of the day, but it's bad when Zhou Guanyu and the Sauber's even going, what the fuck's this Aston Martin doing?
Yeah.
Like, and then the commentators, I swear, at one point had to hold back calling him a retard when they said he retired the car. I swear they went to go, retired the car. It was like Lance Stroll, the retiree. That's the one I'm looking for.
Where's that dictionary?
Yeah.
We're just fishing for the dictionary. My final pick is the race director.
Yeah, we got to talk about that, don't we?
That was some weird decisions.
So what we're talking about is Alex Albon's mirror. Just the bubblegum come apart and it's just flicked off. Landed on the track, and for about 5 laps, they're just still deciding what to do. And then Valtteri Bottas, blue flag, moves out the way.
Straight over the mirror.
Straight over it.
Boom, 2 punctures.
Yeah, Hamilton and Sainz both get punctures, both go into the pits, and then as they're coming out, safety car. Yeah. Gee, you took your sweet-ass time with that one.
And this is the same wing mirror that Lando Norris got pinged for not lifting.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a wing mirror on the track, but we're not going to move it.
Yeah, I couldn't understand. It was the most clear-cut thing ever. Safety, we need to move the mirror. Like,
yeah.
You could have brought a safety car out and it would have been done in 2 laps. You know what I mean? Like,
the helmet driver of the week is Lewis Hamilton, by the way.
Yeah.
You're keeping score at home.
You're also missing one, though. We've had a big week for key drivers. Nico Hulkenberg.
Key drivers or helmet drivers?
Sorry, helmet drivers. That's the one I'm thinking.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about. He was shocking.
Yeah, Hulkenberg,
he
spun off.
Took out Ocon, Colapinto at the start, and then he spun off himself later on. He just was nowhere near it.
That was like poetic justice almost.
Yeah.
So you're going with Lewis
Hamilton?
Hamilton?
With Hamilton, just the way he just flipped the switch and started to chuck a 90. Still like the car's been shit for ages. Like you literally got P2 last week, and your teammate got P1. So, and your teammate, I'm pretty sure, got like P4 in this race.
Yeah, with a setback.
So like, fucking, it's not the car.
Yeah, let's not forget they botched Russell's pit stop at one point.
Still got P4.
And he's still come back to P4, and there's Lewis Hamilton friggin' whinging.
Gosh,
speeding in the pit lane because he forgot to put the pit limiter on.
Yeah, that's a you problem, mate.
Yeah, that's not the car, mate. That's all got down to you. And then whinging about retiring. That's the most
that was gutless.
Gutless thing I've ever heard. Do you know what I mean? Like, ask how Zhou Guanyu and Valtteri Bottas feel after this year racing around in frickin' P18 all year.
Yeah.
You know, how do they
feel
mentally?
I was wondering how it feels to get to P10 and then Lando's sweet.
Yeah.
Like, that's gutting.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd feel guilty, but you shouldn't have, you know.
You had P2 last week. Like, come on, man. You've had more race wins than any race driver in the history of freaking Formula One. And
more wins, more poles, and more podiums than anyone else.
Oh, my God, man.
7 world championships. You could go 1 week with it going bad, mate.
Yeah. Like, it was just wrong. Yeah, my picks are also Lewis Hamilton, but I will give a special mention to the race director because that was just pretty poor. I mean, I loved it because it threw jeopardy in the race. If we're going to have freaking... If we're going to put obstacles in the road for these drivers on the... to create some jeopardy, I'm all for it, honestly. But in the rules of what their job is, that was pretty poor to sit there until someone run it over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Just sit there and wait until someone does something with it. Yes. Then we'll bring out the safety car. Like, fuck off.
It was a very... If we talk about the race directing this weekend, it was very, like... up and down. I thought for a while there it was very good. They were very on to every penalty and moving on quickly. Then the mirror thing, which was just a joke. It just sat around for too long. And then we get to, Lando Norris with his yellow flag, not slowing down, and Lewis Hamilton, and we start getting stop-go penalties. Pretty harsh penalties that we haven't seen all year.
Stop-go penalty, a drive-through penalty.
Yeah.
It was
nice. I'm nice to see. I'm bored for seeing them, but
it's just
shit, man. Show some balance.
Yeah. We haven't seen them all year. Then all of a sudden, this race, we're like, bang, bang. And I'm like, okay,
then left on it. Yeah,
we're doing
it's a 10
that
second.
now.
It's not a 10-second. That's a 35-second penalty.
Yeah,
it's a 10-second stop and go penalty, including traversing the pit lane.
yeah.
And Lewis Hamilton's was a full drive-through. Lewis Hamilton's speeding in the pit lane was a bigger penalty than him jumping the start.
Yeah.
He only got 5 seconds for jumping the start. That should have been 10.
Well, the reason why he got in trouble for speeding in the pit lane was because they were driving through the pit lane while they cleared the debris up.
Yeah.
So if an accident had happened under those circumstances, it would have been much bigger. So I understand. I think the penalty is fair.
Yeah, I'm glad to see those kinds of penalties.
Yeah, me too.
You gotta. There's a sliding scale here.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't just blindfold yourself and throw a dart at a dartboard and see what penalty it lands on.
I'm just glad it wasn't 10-second penalty. It was something a bit different.
It was something a bit more harsh.
Again, I'm all for it, but again, like you're saying, Jimmy, the balance is a bit off. We haven't done it all year. Now it's like you said. Now there's like spinning a wheel and throwing a dart and going, that one will do. Like, if we're going to go this route next year, I'm all for it. But
just make sure you get your balance right.
Yeah, maybe doing it right now, two races to go, is a bit like, oh, hang on, it seems a bit unfair in the balance of the season. But if we want to go this way next year, I'm happy for it. But it'll be interesting to see if that's the way they go. Like, do we know if they're pointing this race director for next year, or is he just finishing the year out?
He's just started. It's his second race.
Yeah.
Don't know what they're doing next year.
Not sure if it's...
Well, apparently the last guy got fired via text message from Mohammed Ben Soyalamin.
God, he's doing some dicky things at the moment. I mean, the swearing stuff, and then we got the best quote of the whole weekend, which was literally, fuck off. It was the best thing of the race weekend when Kevin Magnussen overtook Alex Albon. He wants to take that away. It's like, this is what makes Formula One. Like, it's part of it. They can't take swearing out. Seems like he's trying to interject on a lot of things at the moment. It just needs to be left alone.
He's trying to make it PG.
Yeah.
But PG didn't work for WWE.
It's not a PG sport.
So, sorry, but no. Fuck off.
Yeah. In the words of Kevin Magnussen.
Yeah, to quote Kevin Magnussen, fuck off. All right, I'm going to give it Lewis Hamilton as well. That was, for a 7-time world champion, that was a piss-poor display of sportsmanship and showed a lack of respect to his team. And unfortunately, this is the type of bullshit we're going to have to put up with at Ferrari for the next 2 years.
Yeah, unless you're winning.
Yeah.
And he's getting his 8th world championship. I'm going to have to hang up a photo of him next to that.
No, you are not hanging up jack shit. All right, it'll be a fucking Charles Leclerc one. Right, so we're going to move on to the news items. And we've got a few news items. First one is that Abby Pulling is the F1 Academy champion for 2024.
Good on her.
I'm glad Alpine won something this year.
Good on Alpine. They're on the up and up.
Yeah. Put her in the F1 car.
Alpine's Junior Academy seems to be pretty solid.
Yeah.
Their main team's a little bit off. Although, they did get a double podium this year, and Gasly got 5th.
Yeah.
They've come on since Oliver
I think
Oaks.
they've jumped half in the constructors too.
And Ocon got the 7-10 pin split.
Yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations to Abby Pulling. So we're going to move on to the next news item, which is the Italian and Monaco Grand Prix have both been extended to 2031.
Very good news for Monza.
Yes.
Not so much for Monaco. They got a bit of a sigh from me, but...
Yeah, but
I'm happy
But
with
again,
Monaco.
I understand it. And the cars are going to start getting smaller again with the new regulations, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, for me with Monaco, no matter what the racing's like, you just can't take that track out. It's just part of Formula One.
Yeah.
Whether the racing's no good, it's one in quali. It's a different race to the rest, but it's just the crown. It's one of them races you got to have, whether or not the race is good or not. It's a weekend. It's a spectacle. if we're going to put in races like Miami, saturate the sport with races like Miami, then we can afford to keep Monaco, even if the racing isn't what it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, we have the legacy tracks of, like, Albert Park.
Yeah.
Suzuki.
Spa, Monza,
Monza.
Monaco, Silverstone.
Hungary.
Yeah.
Hungary. Brazil.
I wouldn't call Albert Park a legacy track.
I would.
It's only been around since '96.
So?
I'd call Interlagos a legacy track. Spa,
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Spa, Monza, Silverstone.
You know what? Zandvoort.
It was Zandvoort
Amazing.
went away and came back.
Yeah, so I think it's earned its place as a legacy track.
Okay.
Hockenheim.
Hockenheim, yeah. Well, we're never going to get that layout back.
Imola.
Oh, Imola's a legacy track for sure.
Oh, you know, absolutely. You know, and I think that's even Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, even to a degree Mexico. But then you
Yeah,
get
that track came back. It went away and came back.
the tracks that aren't legacy ones are like Baku.
Miami, Qatar.
All the new ones.
Yeah, all the latest ones.
Yeah, Jeddah.
Yeah.
You
Abu
know,
Dhabi.
Yeah.
You know, so, and I mean that's the thing about Singapore is that it's a legacy track because it's the first one that was at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's worked.
Yeah.
It's turned out to be a good race, a good track.
Yeah,
you
now
know?
that they've taken that stadium section out and made it just a big long straight, it's really improved the drivability of that track.
And it's just a challenge for the drivers because it's so hot. You know, they all talk about how hard that race is. You know, it's just something a bit different on the calendar. Like you said, night race. You know, all the rest of it. So, yeah, I think you're right. Singapore's earning its place as it's becoming a legacy.
Yeah. You know, Austria.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, so, yeah. Right, so moving on, the next news item is that Esteban Ocon has been dropped from Alpine. They've torn up his contract.
That seems harsh, but it's not.
No.
Alpine's actually done him a favour.
Yeah, well, he can now test in the Abu Dhabi test straight after the next weekend's race.
Yeah.
He can test with Haas.
Right, so they've done it for him.
Yeah, they've actually done him a solid by dropping him.
And Jack Doohan is going to be making his debut
Yeah, very nice.
this weekend for us.
Another Aussie. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it sucks he's in an Alpine, but still, you know.
Yeah.
Awesome, that'd be great.
So, yeah, Jack Doohan on the grid this weekend and then in the test and driving for them for the next couple of years. Not sad to see Esteban Ocon bugger off out of the team.
I wish it was out of the sport, but unfortunately, he's back next year.
Yeah. Well, you know, beggars can't be choosers, but, yeah, we'll get there.
Showing us what we knew all along. Pierre Gasly was the superior talent the whole time.
Yeah. Next news item. So Audi F1 has sold, I think, 30% stake to the Qatar, the QUI, I think they're called. They're a Qatar financial consortium.
Yeah, same way McLaren sold a stake in their team to the Bahrainis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's just financial stability, that is.
yeah.
Basically just backers with
So
lots of oil money.
So, yeah, Audi has sold a share of their company to a Qatar consortium.
Righto.
I'm pretty sure they had enough of their own money, but okay.
Hey, yeah, more money coming in means less money spent of your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. And final news item, this one, when this bomb dropped, I was like, wow. General Motors, under the guise of Cadillac F1, will be joining the grid as the 11th team in 2026 without the name Andretti Motorsport attached.
Yeah.
So the full gist of this is that so Michael Andretti stepped down from Andretti Motorsport, and then Cadillac launched a thing to try and get into F1 in 2026 as a works team, and it was accepted by F1. No word from F1 management yet.
Yeah.
Mainly they were saying that because they're coming in, because in 2028 they're going to be bringing in their own engines, so they will be a works team. But also the rumor around is because they got rid of Michael Andretti and his involvement, that a lot more teams were like, yeah, okay, we'll have him in, because Michael Andretti sort of was a little bit Pac-Man and ran his mouth a little bit.
So is there bad blood between Michael Andretti and the F1 stratosphere?
I think there's bad blood between Michael Andretti and everyone who isn't Michael Andretti.
Right.
To develop the engine for Cadillac F1, because Alpine or Renault is shutting down engine development, even though they've developed an engine for the 2026 regulations, they're shutting that down and they're going to Mercedes engines. So General Motors bought the design and they're going to make that themselves from 2028. In the meantime, it looks like General Motors Cadillac F1 is going to be running Ferrari power units. It's either Ferrari supplies them or Honda will be required to supply to them.
Yeah, it goes to the one with the least amount of power units on the grid.
Because
is that right?
Audi is joining in 2026, they're not required to power another team unless someone buys it off them. So, yeah, but they've been talking to Ferrari, and because Ferrari will be losing Sauber because they're becoming Audi. So they'll be down to 2 teams. So having a third team will help them develop their power unit. People are already talking about who's going to be the drivers for Cadillac. With the top 2 names being Colton Herta and Daniel Ricciardo.
I have heard Ricciardo's name be thrown in there.
But
interesting.
Other names that have been bandied around include Felipe Drugovich, Pato O'Ward, Valtteri Bottas. Someone kept saying Yuki Tsunoda, but I don't see that happening. I don't think that he's an option on the table. Maybe Carlos Sainz if he gets the shits at Williams.
I definitely see them bringing in a Colton Herta type. I feel like they want to have a.
They definitely want an
hero.
American there, or like a IndyCar jump.
Yeah, but Holter's still got a way to go on his license points. I agree.
Yes,
I think so. He's still got to sort that out.
Yeah.
But I think if they go the Herta route, they need a veteran to go in alongside him being a new team, and I feel like that's opens the door for a Daniel Ricciardo return for sure. Cause
or
he's so
Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah, or a Bottas. But if we think of Ricciardo and we think of marketability, in
Well,
the American market, how big is that?
Other options they're talking about is it could be a reuniting of Bottas and Zhou Guanyu.
Look, I'll tell you what, they both haven't, as shit a car they've been in, that they've shown their... Zhou Guanyu's shown... Valtteri Bottas is always worthy of being in Formula 1. He's shown that in his history. And for me, Zhou Guanyu's shown that he's probably worthy of being in there too, compared to some of the other drivers that do get seats. I mean, this weekend...
They showed their hand this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend he was outstanding. He doesn't put too many foots wrong. If you look, he doesn't have incidents. He doesn't have crashes. He's just been in a shit box of a car.
They're just slow. They're not dangerous.
Not been able to show much. And if we do think of Zhou Guanyu in his junior career, he was the one driver that pushed Oscar Piastri that year when he came through. Not many other drivers were able to do that. Zhou Guanyu was the only driver at that time, giving him somewhat of a fight.
Yeah.
So the guy does have some talent, and I mean, he's also got, again, if we're going to look at all the boxes, he's got marketability, he's got the whole Chinese market, he's got sponsors, he's got backers, I would not be upset to see Zhou Guanyu still on the grid, especially compared to some of the other window lickers we get year on year out. So he wouldn't be a terrible choice because, again, he gives you that financial backing, a market that's going to support it. China's still got a race. Is that correct? We've got a China race next year, don't we? So that wouldn't be a terrible move, but I still think they're going to want to bring in an American, and it will probably be Holter if he can get his points, and probably need an experienced second-hander.
I think there's one name in IndyCar that gets overlooked in all of this. I mean, there's probably 3 names that get overlooked in this because Colton Herta and Pato O'Ward. I think, I can't remember I had it a second ago. And
Joseph Newgarden?
Yes.
Alex Palou,
Joseph Newgarden, and Scotty McLaughlin. They're the 3 names that keep getting overlooked in this conversation. I think they're worthy of it.
It depends on what their contracts with their teams are too.
And also, another name that keeps getting overlooked for this seat he's got experience in F1 and experience in IndyCar. Romain Grosjean.
Yeah. I don't know if Grosjean's in much of a rush to come back to Formula 1, to be honest.
Even some people have said Marcus Ericsson.
Yeah.
But I think he's more IndyCar than F1 now.
I think Romain's the same.
Romain doesn't have a seat next year in
he's-
IndyCar.
He struggled a little bit in IndyCar as well, so we'll see. I mean, you know, as an American team coming in, you definitely have the door open now to bring an IndyCar driver with you, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
The one name that hasn't been on the list, though, is Mick Schumacher. And he just got released from Mercedes. He's driving for Alpine in endurance racing.
Right.
And because apparently Valtteri Bottas has signed with Mercedes to be their reserve driver.
Does that mean Mick's a reserve for Alpine?
No, he's in Le Mans.
He's just in Le
He's
Mans.
in World Endurance. He's a completely different sport now.
Yeah. So that's a shame because I think he did have talent,
I agree. I think he did too.
but he was just in crappy cars and Gunther Steiner's an idiot.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's the other things about Cadillac joining F1. When Andretti was involved, the anti-dilution fund went up to $600 million just for an entry. But because of Cadillac, they dropped it down to $450 million.
I bet they bought in their whole marketability thing.
But they've still got Mario Andretti as their ambassador.
And they're still using Andretti facilities too.
Yeah, because the parent company of Cadillac F1 is the parent company of Andretti Motorsport.
So it's like Andretti's in without their name on the door.
They found the
basically.
loophole.
Basically, they've got in without their name on the door.
Yeah, they found the loophole to get in, which is if you take this name out and just focus on the car brand,
Yeah.
you'll get in. I wouldn't mind betting that once it's all done and dusted, Michael Andretti ends up on the F1 grid as a team principal or something.
He'll get his way in there somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, look, if he's managed to wriggle his way in without the name on the door, he'll wriggle his way in.
Yeah,
You know, he'll find a loophole.
he's like the Vince McMahon of F1.
Can't kill him. He's like a
You
cockroach.
just cannot get rid of him. But you know, it's nice to see that. We were talking about beforehand. We're going to scrounge up some cash so we can pay the $450 anti-dilution fund.
$450 million.
Yeah,
Look beside the couch, see what you can
yeah,
find.
yeah.
Find a couple of spare coins.
You know, start a Patreon, a Kickstarter,
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Get it up there.
Yeah, we'll have that money in no time, and we'll be the Cadillac B brand. The
General Motors B team.
Yeah, the V carb to the racing to the Red Bull. We're going to be the Australian team because there hasn't been an Australian team since Brabham. We're going to bring back Holden.
Oh, I love it.
HRT.
HRT on the F1 grid.
All
Could you
right,
imagine?
who are we bringing in as drivers lineup? Mark Scaife. Who are we bringing in?
Mark Scaife and Todd Kelly for as long as I do.
Peter Brock's corpse and Craig Lowndes.
Greg Murphy.
Yes,
Mark-
now we're talking.
Marcus Ambrose and Greg Murphy. as
Ambrose never
teammates.
drove for Holden. Yuck.
But so Cadillac is in F1.
Great, it's what we want to see. Hey, another constructor, 2 more cars, 2 more drivers on the grid, which is what we want. And I hope another competitor comes in now for that 12th spot. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, 24 car grid. They've done it
Yeah.
before. They can do it again.
Yeah. I
Don't
think
give
that's
me-
what F1
Don't give me
wants.
shit about fucking, the pit lane's going to be too narrow and shit.
Yeah.
Fuck
What a
off. You've
joke.
done it before.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, if the pit name's too narrow at Miami and they can't run at Miami, boo-hoo.
That's a shame.
Yeah, get
What
rid
a
of Miami.
shame.
Yeah.
Sucks to be you. Fuck off. Right, so that's all the news items for this week. So we're going to go to the driver's standings. So in first place is the world champion Max Verstappen with 429 points. Second place is Lando Norris with 349 points. 8 points behind him. In third place is Charles Leclerc, 341 points. This is going down to the wire. Fourth place is Oscar Piastri with 291 points. Fifth place is Carlos Sainz with 272 points. Sixth place is George Russell with 235 points. Seventh place is Lewis Hamilton with 211 points. Eighth place is Sergio Perez with 152 points. Ninth place is Fernando Alonso with 68 points. And 10th place is Nico Hülkenberg with 37 points. And in the Constructors, McLaren has 640 points. In second place is Ferrari with 619 points, which makes them 21 points behind McLaren.
So the World Constructors' Championship is going down to Abu Dhabi, and so is second place in the drivers.
Yeah. And there's no Michael Massey in sight.
But there's this new race director that can throw you into it for a stop-go penalty at any moment.
Absolutely. You look at it in the wrong way.
Yeah. In you go.
In third place is Red Bull with 581 points. Fourth place is Mercedes with 446 points. Fifth place is Aston Martin with 92 points. Sixth place, moving back up to sixth, is Alpine with 59 points. Seventh place is Haas with 54 points. Eighth is RB with 46 points. Williams in ninth with 17 points. And holy Christ, in 10th place, Kick Sauber has got 4 points.
Do you reckon the battle for 9th and 10th is on next race?
Oh, the heat is on.
If Kick Sauber gets a podium, you're fucked.
Chances of that happening?
Joke
Nil.
on you.
Hey,
Third
the chances of Alpine getting a double podium this year was nil as well.
Yeah, look at
Now look at them.
Yeah.
They had 0 points, like probably halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Then they got that double podium, and now they're up to sixth.
And they jumped 3 places. So annoying. I wanted them to finish 9th so bad. They deserved it for the decisions they've made as a team for so long.
All right, so we get to our social medias. So you can watch this on YouTube, care of Vindicator 18 channel. That is the F1 Chat. We also have a dedicated F1 Chat channel called the F1 Chat 1.
Don't forget the one.
Don't forget the one. You can interact with us on Facebook on the F1 Chat. We are on X as the F1 Chat 1. Don't forget the 1 again. Do not forget. Please don't forget. For the love of God, don't forget. We are on Rumble as the F1 Chat. And we are on the Spotify as the F1 Chat. Next race, last race of the season.
Yay, we made it.
Is Abu Dhabi, and that is this weekend, completing the triple header.
That's it.
So
one championship decided, one championship 2 to be decided,
yeah,
and a couple of placings in the World Drivers' Championship to be decided.
it is going down to the wire.
It is.
And so Abu Dhabi. So I think we'll be back next week for the Abu Dhabi one.
Yeah, if we do it later in the week.
Yes, we can do that. It's not like we got another race coming up after that.
That's true.
And then we'll probably be able to do our end of season special somewhere around Kiss Moose.
Yeah, possibly, depending on how the rosters work around then.
Yeah, we'll try and work it. We can all be here again.
Yeah. So we can do our 3-hour extravaganza of us just crapping on Lance Stroll like we're just copying rocket-powered Mohawk.
I think this is our 24-hour period where we're actually in the same spot, Jamie.
Yeah,
we're able to do it. So
I know. I have to go to bed.
yeah,
It's the only time is right before I drive out for night shift, and it's like,
I just come off.
yeah, it's not a fun 24-hour period for either of us, is it?
No, it's not. But we're here.
But we made
It's
it
been
work, and it's good to have the three amigos in the same room for once.
Yeah,
Yes.
great.
All right. Well, we hope you all enjoyed this double episode. It was a bit of a speed. It was a speed run, this one.
Yeah.
It was.
But
Considering we jam-packed 2 in.
yeah. But we got there, and so yeah. So on behalf of JB and Longhorn and myself, thank you for tuning in. We will see you potentially in just over a week's time. Until then, it is goodbye.